there's a current Department of Justice investigation into your finances.
Yep.
What is it about? Can you say anything more?
I can't, but I can say this, is I'm cooperating completely. And I am absolutely certain, 100% certain, that at the end of the investigation, that I will be cleared of any wrongdoing.
You're 100% certain.
I'm 100% certain of it. And all I can do is cooperate and trust in the process.
Trust in the process, he says? Really? Is that what they call it now? Trusting in the process? I guess you can, if daddy's the one that's running the process.
It raised eyebrows at the time, but by the 2020 elections, Hunter Biden was the center of a political firestorm.
Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. It wasn't dishonorably.
Cocaine use. And he didn't have a job until you became vice president. And once you became vice president, he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
that is simply
and various
not
other places.
True.
Looking back, did you make a mistake taking a spot on that board?
No, I don't think I made a mistake in taking the spot on the board. I think I made a mistake in terms of underestimating the way in which it would be used against me. And
but you must have seen the optics. Even back then, you must have, I mean, how could you not have foreseen that this was going to look bad?
Because I really didn't. I'm being as honest with you as I possibly can. All I know is that not one investigative body, not one serious journalist has ever come to the conclusion that I did anything wrong or that my father did anything wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go, folks. Okay. I don't even know where to begin, but I'm going to begin like I always do. Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. What I just showed you was two small clips of an interview that Hunter Biden had a long time ago when he was putting his faith and trusting in the process, okay, of all the scandal that was coming out about him, knowing that, you know what, everything was going to be fine, okay? As a matter of fact, over the past couple of years, his own father, okay, the President of the United States, Joe Biden, said that if anything came about this, that he would respect the verdict and he would not pardon his son. But I'm sure a lot of you have heard, as of yesterday, once again, he actually lied to the American people. And not only did he lie to the American people, okay, he basically lied to his own constituents because, as fate would have it, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard, are hearing, or you're about to hear, there are a lot of people on the Democrat side that are really pissed off at Joe Biden for what he did. Okay? I mean, some of them even coming out to the point saying that what he did was actually dangerous and it's going to turn around and come basically, for lack of a better term, bite them in the ass. Okay? Now, you know, I understand how a parent must feel about their child, okay, depending on the circumstances and stuff like that. But is it surprising that Joe Biden, Karine Jean-Pierre, MSNBC, CNN, you know, all the usual suspects, is it surprising that they all will come out and say that no, President Biden is not going to pardon his son? He's standing by his word, okay? That's not going to happen. He's not Donald Trump. He's going to prove to everybody wrong, and he's going to prove to America that he is a better person than Donald Trump. Right. I wonder, in all honesty, if Joe Biden is sitting down right now thinking about all this, I wonder what he's thinking. As a matter of fact, I wonder okay? If all these leftist shills on mainstream media and social media who have been calling Donald Trump a tyrant, that Donald Trump is a threat, is an existential threat to America, that Donald Trump is lying to the American people, that he's trying to line his own pockets, that he's only out there for the rich, that he doesn't care about anybody, that he's going to be a dictator, and it goes on and on and on. I wonder if any of you have something to say now. Because even though there's a lot of people on the left, okay, that are pushing back against this, there's still people out there that are now trying to like flip the script. Okay? Trying to make it seem as if, you know what, no, Joe Biden never said any of that. What do you expect? That's his son. And the lie, and not the lies, the excuses are going to start coming out more and more and more to try to put some normalcy, okay, to what the Democrats have done once again, which is use the justice system, okay, and their power for their own personal gain and to protect themselves and nobody else. And on top of that, I wonder how this would have played out if this was Donald Trump pardoning his son. Okay? Because basically, when it comes to, like, I don't know, district attorneys and judges and people in Capitol Hill, they are so quick to try and put the whole Trump family under, like, this RICO status of corruption, and yet, here we are. Biden pardons his son for crimes, people. Crimes that if even 10% of these crimes were thrown on a regular civilian, that person most likely will be in prison for at least 10, 15 years. As a matter of fact, okay, one of the charges against them about the whole gun thing, anybody and everybody that knows gun laws in their state knows for a fact that if you would have did, I mean, just 10% of what Hunter did with his gun, you'd be in prison for at least 10 years. Easy for 10 years. Never mind, okay, the supposed allegation that he took the gun and threw it out in a dumpster or something like that. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I'd like to know, since all you people on the left are so, you want gun control, we're just going to use one of those charges, for this video, for this moment, I should say. Since you claim so much that you're for gun control and you want people to be safe, how do you feel that the president's son broke the law, a firearm law, and your knight in shining armor, your president, your king, pardons his son? For all you people out there in high-ranking political office, like, governors and mayors, district attorneys, would you do the same if it was some just, regular civilian in the street? Would you pardon them? Would you drop charges? The answer to that is no. You know you wouldn't. You throw the book at them. But now, as fate would have it, here we are. Okay? Here we are. Let's get to some more news clips of this disgusting act by a president who basically just sealed, everybody's talking about now that he basically just sealed his whole, his legacy. He did. He sealed it all right. He sealed it. And not in a good way. But let's continue.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tanya Rivero.
And I'm Joe Torres. President Joe Biden left D.C. for Africa tonight, just a couple of hours after he announced the pardon of his son Hunter on tax and gun charges, even though he previously said he would not do so. The president said he believes his son was, quote, selectively and unfairly prosecuted. The decision comes weeks ahead of President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration. It has been the biggest question floating around the nation's capital since Election Day. Would President Joe Biden pardon his son Hunter for his federal felony gun and tax convictions? The answer came tonight in a statement released by the president. Today, I signed a pardon for my son Hunter. From the day I took office, I said I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision-making, and I kept my word, even as I have watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted. The president reversed course on his past promise not to pardon his son. The statement goes on to lay out what Biden considered to be a political persecution by his opponents in Congress, saying, "No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and is wrong."
Okay, I'm gonna stop you here real quick. You know, this man, I mean, wow, the ignorance. And it's not even ignorance. I'm not even going to use that word. Okay. The flat out blatant disregard, okay, for anything good that this man spews, is just, it's beyond me. Okay. It's totally beyond me, because he's going to come out and say that his son was singled out. Okay? How many times has the Trump family been singled out? How many times has the mainstream media, okay, said that Donald Trump and his sons and other family members need to be prosecuted for whatever bullshit lies that they come up with, that they think that it deems the right for them to go and file charges against them? Meanwhile, the whole time, this man, Joe Biden, is the one at the top signing off, okay, on those witch hunts or whatever it is you want to call it. This man was convicted of federal charges, okay, and that's only of the stuff that we know about. God only knows the stuff that either hasn't gotten to the mainstream media because it's being held back, or they really don't know. Okay? And he's going to come out and say that his son was singled out? You mean singled out like certain people that were at a certain protest on a certain day, where he sent the Department of Justice to go to their houses, to go to their homes where they live in different states, and arrest them and stick them in the gulags of Washington, D.C., and that are still there to this day? You mean singled out like that? Is that what you mean? You know, people that were just out there trying to, I don't know, exercise one of their constitutional rights are being persecuted, vilified, lied about. They can't even defend themselves. And yet this man took it upon himself, okay, to live the lifestyle that he wanted to live, because, of course, Daddy, you know, is a high-ranking politician before, when he became vice president, when he became president, and decided, you know what, I can pretty much do whatever I want. You know what this reminds me of, people? Excuse me. If anybody has ever seen the movie Sin City, okay, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't seen it, you might want to go see the movie. In the movie, there is a politician, I think it's a judge or a politician, who is so damn corrupt that his son in the movie is a serial killer. Okay? Just an ugly beast of a character. I mean, he's like yellow, he smells, he's disgusting, and all he does is go out there and just torment women. And the father keeps backing him up, keeps him out of prison, and lets his son do whatever the hell he wants to do. Now, if anybody's seen the movie, I'm not trying to, because there is a bad ending to all that, so I'm not trying to entice that. I'm not saying any of that, so I don't want anybody to get this twisted. What I'm saying is that when I seen this, okay, and looking at Hunter Biden, all he needs is some yellow makeup. Okay, that's all he needs. All Joe Biden needs is the mustache that the father character had in the movie. Because the corruption here, it is thick, people. And Joe Biden is going to walk around as if I just pardoned my son, I'm taking a flight to Africa. Everything's good. I didn't lie. And I didn't interfere. I just thought I had to do what a father should do because his son was singled out. You know what this calls for, people, in all honesty? I know for a fact that there were people at the Capitol on January 6th that were out there looking for trouble. Okay? This calls for Donald Trump to send a special counsel, a special team, and no, not one with Liz Cheney on it, and start figuring out who's who. And if there was some that really did cause havoc, they should be time served and released. Okay? The ones that didn't do anything should be automatically released. And then they should go and investigate how many FBI agents were hidden in the crowd causing havoc, and they need to be prosecuted. See, that would be justice. That would be looking out for people that have been singled out and are being wrongly prosecuted or extensively prosecuted. I mean, because in all honesty, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? Joe Biden has said it time and time again. I'm not going to step into this. I'm not going to pardon him. Karine Jean-Pierre said it. People on MSNBC, mainstream media, you name it, whatever. They said it. He'll never do that. He's not Donald Trump. He's better than Donald Trump. He's a good man. He's a great man. Really? You just showed America, okay, everything you project on other people, on Donald Trump or other people, it's basically you. And I know a lot of you lefties are probably out there analyzing all these videos that us content creators are putting out, and you're going to go and put out your own little damn bullshit video as if we're all crazy and what he did was right. Listen, all I got to say to you, you are part of the problem. Just like your overlord, Biden, you are part of the problem. Just like his son, you are part of the problem. Okay? The weird thing about all this, and I'll play it on the next video, it's going to be a little lengthy, I'll do my best, was not the whole fact that he pardoned his son, in case anybody hasn't heard, but he basically pardoned him for the last 11 years. I wonder why. From what I take, what that means is that since he has been pardoned for the past 11 years, that nobody can go back 11 years ago if he did something wrong, that they cannot go back and try to bring him to court. Because it's almost like, I don't know, covering up everything into a point where they think that he didn't get into corruption. Let's cover all that up until that point. So if anybody goes back, it starts at, oh, he was a good kid. Nobody finds that odd? I mean, you know, it probably would have been better, in all honesty, if, I don't know, maybe they just would have had a total media blackout on all this. So like that, you know what? No, I take that back. I take it all back. Nothing would have been better. There's nothing you can do that would have been better. Okay? But this is the Democrat, like I said, you know, overlord that everybody wanted back in power, or hand over the reins to another woman who actually likes to prosecute innocent people. Facts coming out of California, okay? And now you have a president who likes to forgive guilty people and give them pardons. Let's continue with some more. Here we go.
What struck me most about the president's statement tonight is that he called the prosecution unfair and selective, which is a direct shot at his Justice Department.
The full and unconditional pardon comes just weeks before President Biden leaves office and just weeks before Hunter Biden was set to face sentencing. His father's decision now spares him from possible jail time. The president ended his statement with this message to the American people. I believe in the justice system, but as I have wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process.
Wow.
And it led to a miscarriage of justice. And once I made this decision this weekend, there was no sense in delaying it further. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision.
Of course. You know, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I read a passage in the Bible a long, long time ago, okay, that, and if I'm wrong, somebody correct me, please, where it says that even evil men love their children. Just thought I'd throw that out there, because, it's like, all you had to do, okay, that you can't. You can't even say that all he had to do was say, no, I wasn't going to pardon him. None of it was going to work. None of it was going to work. It's not surprising. But I'm angry because of all the rhetoric that keeps coming from the left, even after you guys lost. In case any of you lefties are watching this video, Trump is your daddy now. Get used to that. This man, okay, I'll call him your stepfather, okay? But Trump's your real daddy now. Your stepfather, who didn't belong in the White House, just showed you that, you know what? Everything's fine on their end. You people are the ones that need to watch your ass, because, like I said, had it been any civilian out in the street for even a tenth of what they're accusing, of what, I shouldn't say accusing, of what they've convicted this man of, okay, you'd all be in prison. And here's another little fun fact for all you people that keep saying, oh, that Donald Trump's a rapist, a 34-count convicted felon, this, and that, yada, yada, yada. Donald Trump didn't get no pardon. You know why? Because he's innocent. But Hunter Biden got a pardon because he's guilty. Let's get to the next one. Here we go.
I wanted to ask you, could those statements now be seen as lies from the American people? Is there really a credibility issue here given now this announcement?
First of all, one of the things that the president always believes is to be truthful to the American people. That is something that he always truly believes. He came to this decision this weekend, so let's be very clear about that. He says it himself. And
how soon could the next round of pardons could come?
I don't have a timeline for you. As you know, this usually happens towards the end, and so the president is going through that process. I'm not going to get ahead of him, but you can expect more announcements to come.
Okay, you know what I find, is not even ironic, it's disgusting. The way she comes out and says, that decision came this weekend. You mean Thanksgiving weekend, this weekend that just passed, Thanksgiving weekend, when people should be home with their families and friends, having a good time? unlike the January 6th prisoners that you've taken away from their families and friends and wrongly convicted them, and you've had them in prison, little old ladies, old men, innocent people. Is that what you're saying? He made that decision because of that? Because he didn't want his son to be in prison? I don't know, next Thanksgiving? Or the next 20 Thanksgivings, or whatever the hell the case is? So out of all this time that he's over here saying, I'm not going to jump in, I'm not going to step in, I'm not going to interfere, Karine, go tell them the same thing. Go ahead, you're a puppet, go repeat it. Now she's going to come out. You know, I tell you what, okay, I tell you what, people. This woman right here, how she can look in the mirror or go to bed and wake up and be okay with herself is beyond me. I guarantee you there are probably some hardcore criminals in the world looking at this woman saying, that's my idol. I mean, because, listen, if Joe Biden wants to lie and say, I'm not going to pardon him, that's one thing. But how do you sit there knowing, because you know for a fact she knew it was all bullshit, what he was saying. But she kept up with the narrative. She kept up with his lies. She regurgitated what he wanted her to throw up. Okay? And she's still going to double down and make these statements. Either that, or this woman is walking around. She must be the only person on the planet that feels the most guiltiest of the life that she's living. I'm not really going to believe that, but I'm just saying. Okay? Meanwhile, no matter what, and I'm going to keep saying it, no matter what Trump says, no matter what his family says, it's all lies. His followers are crazy. They're a cult. They're racist. They're anti-American. I'd like some of you lefties to leave comments and tell me how you feel. I won't rank on you. If you're honest and you say that you totally agree with this, good. Then we're on the same page. Okay? But something tells me that you're not going to leave those kind of comments.
And she doubled down on Biden's claim that Hunter was singled out.
They targeted him because his last name was Biden.
They targeted him because his last name was Biden. You know, I couldn't find the clip, people. I was looking and I just couldn't find it. There was an interview that Hunter Biden made. He was asked a question. And the question was, in other words, do you think, I believe, do you think you would have got the job? I think when they meant when he was working for Burisma or whatever, or have gotten paid that amount or something to that effect. And his answer was, it was because of his last name. That was basically, in a nutshell, what he said. Okay? So he admitted himself that he did not have the smarts. He would not make that kind of money if only he didn't have that last name. And this was, I mean, I seen that interview about 2 years ago or something like that. Okay? Or right about when this whole scandal started. I guess it's been about 2 years. But for Kareem to come out and say they targeted him because his last name was Biden. Wow. Because his last name was Biden. So I guess it's safe to say that Donald Trump's youngest son, who by all intents and purposes is a sweetheart, I mean, the kid, I mean, he's just a good kid, okay? That they pick on him, because they do brutally pick on him because of his last name. Because he's not into politics. He's not working for Ukraine. He's not making millions of dollars selling some shitty ass paintings. Which one is it? Are they both good kids? Are they both good kids, but they're being picked on because of their last name? Or is it that one name, one family is corrupt and the other one isn't? Which that's what I believe. And I believe the one that isn't is the one with the youngest child okay, that the left is picking on.
Here is the problem, Charles Payne. So he's a victim of injustice by the Department of Injustice. Okay, problem here, the facts. August 11th, 2023, let's pull it up. This was the DOJ press release. 2023, you'll remember, guess who was president? His name was Joe Biden. This happened. Attorney General Merrick Garland announced today the appointment of U.S. Attorney David Weiss to serve as special counsel for the ongoing investigation and prosecutions referenced and described in United States v. Hunter Biden.
Of course.
So Biden's DOJ with Biden's handpicked attorney general selectively prosecuted Biden's son.
Yeah. But I also think, looking at the executive grant of clemency here, this is what I think the real deal is, right? So he's pardoned from a period that begins January 1st, 2014 through December 1st, 2024. It's not the cases he's been found guilty on. It's the cases that he was never brought to trial on.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, and I'm glad he brought it up. It's because they're going all the way back to 2014. Trump wasn't even thinking about being president. Barack Obama was president. Joe Biden was vice president. Why would he pardon his son all the way to back then? What are you hiding? If you would have just pardoned him, never mind the fact that you said you wasn't going to pardon him, and you did. You lied, we get that. That's yesterday's news, even though it just happened. Okay? But the fact that you couldn't just say, I'm pardoning him for the gun charges and the tax evasion charges or whatever the other charges were. No, he had to pardon him for that and go all the way back 10 years, 11 years. Okay? What are you hiding? What happened back then that you don't want the new incoming Department of Justice to find? Think about that.
Things that we know or we feel in our hearts are a lot more egregious, a lot more offensive, and maybe even crimes against the United States. This is a preventive measure. I mean, you look at the folks that are going to be in these jobs in 2 months.
Yep.
They're going to go back. They were going to go back and look at this on behalf of the American public. After all, the accusations of influence peddling is huge.
Yeah.
This protects Hunter Biden from, in my mind, true justice. And it's a true travesty against everybody in this country, no matter what political party you're in.
Exactly. And not only that, it sets a precedence that, you know what? I mean, I'm sure anybody that watches this video, we can come up with stories. I mean, there's thousands of them in America of people being persecuted. Okay? And what a lot of you, like I said, if any of you lefties are watching this, I want you to pay attention. Okay? How many times has the Democrat Party, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, have always used victimhood against certain classes of people that they're being wrongfully convicted, they're being persecuted, all this other, just this pandering garbage. Okay? Trying to get your vote. Not caring whether you go to prison or not. So you have a woman like Kamala Harris who wants to be president, but the news is out, facts are out, that she was actually convicting innocent people in California with no regard for their life. Okay? And at the same time, you have a president who under any circumstances, under any normal circumstances, if these same charges were brought against a civilian, okay, they throw the book at him. As a matter of fact, a little fun fact, I'm going to throw it in because I just found out this news the other day from a friend. I found out there's someone that I know, his son, okay, was just given 29 years in prison. Okay? That even I was shocked. I was like, what in the hell did he do? And it was because he had a dirty past and he wouldn't get off the drugs, and they caught him doing some stuff out in where was it? Arkansas, I believe. Okay? Now I'm thinking, 29 years? Was he some like drug kingpin or whatever the hell the case is? And they were like, no, it's just little things that kept building up. Will he get a pardon? I mean, he wasn't out there from what, people are saying, not saying it's true or not about Hunter Biden, but he could have been a spy. Who knows? I'm not saying he was, but, there's a lot of questions around, about the circles that he was in. So now Joe Biden over here using, for instance, the Black and Latino community, saying that they're victims from people on the right. They're falsely prosecuting them and putting them in prison. He has a son who they found guilty, federal crimes, maybe even crimes against the United States, which is what? Treasonous crimes, real treasonous crimes, not the made up bullshit that they try to say about Donald Trump. And he goes and gives him a pardon. Yep.
It is a travesty. If you really think about this, Melania Trump has her closet raided by Merrick Garland's DOJ, and then Biden's White House pardons his son. People see the disparity. But what bothers me most here, and I want to pull up her picture, are the innocent Americans that have been prosecuted, and you could say tortured by the Biden DOJ, one of whom is Paulette Harlow, 76 years old, convicted in a court of law, 2-year prison sentence. She has medical ailments. She stood in front of a pro-life clinic with 9 others peacefully, and she's prosecuted under a little-used statute. She's currently at Alexandria Detention Center. But Harris Faulkner, she gets no pardon.
Yeah, why is that? A woman goes to prison for praying, 76 years old, for praying in front of an abortion clinic because she cares about life. And she gets a 2-year prison sentence. Hunter Biden was out there sniffing coke with hookers and underage girls, from what they're saying, and all kinds of crazy shit. Everybody's seen the pictures. They seen the laptop. It wasn't made up. That wasn't some Russian dude with a mask on. It was him out there, all coked up, drugged up, naked, doing whatever, waving a gun, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. He gets a pardon.
So are we shocked that the president's son is getting special treatment? Are we shocked that a guy who pulled off a stunt on Capitol Hill because he wanted to flout a subpoena in the middle of the investigations was allowed to do so? Are we shocked that his dad would give him not just a little bit of a pardon, but a wiping away of 10 years that maybe he might even be able to testify against his father now without the move of, it might jeopardize me criminally. Former ambassador to Israel, David Friedman, has made that point. So are we shocked that regular, everyday Americans don't get the same special treatment that a Biden does? No, we're not. We just thought it might stop because Biden said it would. Why did we believe him? That's on us. And by the way, he's in Angola today. I had Rich Edson from the Fox Business Network and FNC, Fox News Channel, earlier on my program reporting. I said, why Angola? It's an oil-rich nation with some of the greatest amount of food insecurity on the planet. Why go there right now? And Rich said, well, they have a lot of ties to China right now because China's moving into southwestern African continent, just like they did in the northern part of that continent, so blah, blah, blah. What are we learning? Who did dealings with China?
Yep.
Whose hands might be a little messy? Where are you going? Who are you talking to? Watch what he does. Remember, he said, watch me. Oh, we're watching. 49 days. We got our eyes on you, Biden.
And here's what we should...
And I'm going to leave it at that because it's the truth. As a matter of fact, I made a video months ago, I don't know, 7-8 months ago, I believe, about that. About what's going on in certain countries where there's oil and how people are stepping in. So it's not surprising that that Joe Biden is going to Angola, being that China is setting up shop not only in Angola but in other countries. And why? Because there's oil. As a matter of fact, there was another one, I can't, off the top of my head, is another African country where they're trying to fight for property. No, not. I think it's a South American country, if I remember. But they're trying to fight, saying that one border belongs to the other side, only because they found more oil. Okay? But you know what? I'll try to get to that. I digress on all that. But how funny that this man pardons his son Thanksgiving weekend after he said that he wouldn't. The media's trying to spin it around, the mainstream media. Then he gets on a plane, gives a salute, high five, excuse me, whatever, blows a kiss, goes to Angola, okay? And you heard what Harris Faulkner said. What's at stake over there? And you leftists want to tell me or people like me that the Bidens and the Democrats are not corrupt? Okay. We'll leave it at that. We'll keep a close eye to the ground, a close ear to the ground, I should say, sorry, and see what comes about later on in the next 49 days, like she said, or maybe even after that. Who knows what deals, okay, in private, Biden's going to make in Angola with the Chinese that they're going to have some shills on the inside, try to keep it quiet from Trump, which I doubt, because I'm pretty sure Trump and his crew, okay, are checking everything out. But that's it, people. He basically lied again. Lied again, let his son off the hook, and while still trying to tell the left that we're not the enemy. The real enemy is people on the right. We're the good guys. We're on the right side of history. I've always said it. Yeah, you're on a side of history, but it's not the right side. It's really not. And I'm not telling anybody on the left you need to leave the Democrat Party. That's where you want to stay. That's where you should, more power to you. Do whatever the hell you want. But the more you look at this, and this is not conspiracy because it's all over the news, even regular leftist mainstream media is talking about it. If you're okay with this, like I said, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. And I don't want to hear shit. Not a damn thing. Okay? About how you feel that Donald Trump is an existential threat and that his supporters are a cult. Not a damn thing. But anyway, people, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. So remember, people, stay vigilant. Keep praying. Keep praying for each other. Keep praying for the women and the children. Pray for your enemies. Pray for this country. And pray for Donald Trump. Peace.